I think it's widely agreed now that the recovery is stronger than expected. You just talked about World Bank figures, but the consensus estimate here for expected deceleration this year is minus 7.5, around minus 7 or even less than that. And it seems that we in the MPC, let me say these are my personal opinions, but in the MPC worries about inflation. So inflation had been above our target for the past few months, but the last month it has come down. And I think the reason for this is that in general, the persistent fallout from the lockdown is less than expected. Firms seem to be healthier, quite healthy. Profits have actually gone up. Margins have improved for a lot of firms. Tax collections are up. There seems to be sort of resilience and substitution in consumption. And I think the economy's diversity helped it because agriculture was always doing well. Then moreover, unlike the rest of the world, which was going through quantitative easing, we had financial reforms and tight financial conditions through the decade of the 2010s. But that seems to have achieved what was required. So the reversal with the pandemic, the increase in liquidity is sort of helping the economy. Conditions have become positive for manufacturing after a long time. We are seeing some tentative sort of investment intents also issued. And in a later sign, capital goods imports have increased in the month of December, which seems that industry has started. There's a huge demand for electronic goods. Maybe it was pent-up consumption or festival demand. So industry is starting to increase capacity.
Right. Ms. Goyal, you talked about inflation pressure, and it's coming in from the food side. You know, there's asset price inflation. I wonder what's the thinking within the RBI on, essentially managing the situation, bringing about the balance between growth and inflation at a time like this?
It's because of the really huge fall in growth that takes priority in this pandemic time. You have to protect livelihoods. And because of inflation pressures, RBI was on hold. It did not decrease interest rates after the initial cuts. For the past few months, they've been stable. But it has, the feeling is that with liquidity, as I said, this turnaround in financial tightening is really helping the economy recover, is helping growth. It seems to have worked. And there's close coordination with the government in the sense the government credit warranties have helped banks advance loans to small firms too. And finally, because normally in the winter season, vegetable prices come down. A lot of the food inflation was driven by food prices. That has finally come down in the last month. So we think inflation will go back to within the target band. Also, supply chain disruption, which had happened after the COVID lockdown, seems to have stabilized again. That should also help inflation. And oil prices are low, which helps India.